Hey, what's up YouTube? Josh here. We've got the 2022 WRX in the garage, and today we're going to be installing the Perrin wrinkle black charge piping. So let's open this up. This thing just arrived today. So you got a little license plate, instructions manual, some hose clamps, got some silicone couplers. So let's get a good look at this. This is a wrinkle black finish. So the powder coat is very nice. This is aluminum versus plastic. And the factory one really pinches narrow. And so it's gonna be kind of restrictive. So this is gonna help open it up. Take a peek on the inside. So here's a look at the 3-inch coupler, and then this is probably what, a 2.5. And then this is the adapter that goes to the turbo with the coupler at the bottom down here. So let's go ahead, pop the hood, and let's remove the stock one. I gotta get this done in like 20 minutes because I gotta take my daughters out to dinner and they're inside the house waiting for me. So we're going to be removing this plastic charge pipe right here, guys. So we have a few things to take apart. We're going to have to take off this intake snorkel to the air box, and then we can start undoing these clasps. I'm really excited to get rid of this OEM style connector. I really dislike how this goes together with these little clips and everything. I hate it. I think that that is just a strong possibility to get a boost leak if you take this apart and put it back together and you don't do it properly with those little seals and stuff on the inside. So I'm super excited to replace it with this kick-ass Perrin one that's over here. If you guys like this type of content, hit the thumbs up button on the video. I'd appreciate it, and subscribe to the channel. We are on our way to 10,000 subs, so I'd appreciate your guys' help. So the snorkel, just put a couple fingers back here and pull forward and up. It just comes right out. I'm going to go ahead and just remove this clip. There's a couple of basically these little edges here. If you just pull them up, this thing just pulls right up and out. There's a couple of 10mm bolts here. And I'm going to just take this out so I can get you guys a better visual down below. Okay, so this is loose. So you have a couple of connectors down below here. So you just pop these off. So guys, a little deeper down, if you look down, there's a sensor way down there. That connects the passenger side fan over to the driver's fan. Easily take this fan up and out of the way. So here's a better look in here now that we have that fan out, and you guys can see what I was talking about down below here. You had the upper plug, the middle plug, and then there's a lower plug. So this is basically loose. That just pops right off. Now we have a little clip down there that we got to get to. And as we work our way in here, we're trying to pop these little end pieces out. That's what kind of locks it in. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use a little pick tool and just kind of work it around here. I can pull that little piece kind of up and around. You guys can see that over here. So set that up on top. Do the same thing on the other side. This will pull right up and out. There we go, guys. Cheese. Well, good morning, guys. It is the next day, and it's pretty cold out here in the garage. It's 39 degrees outside. I've got my Little electric fireplace going out here to try to heat it up. And I think while we're out here, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and utilize my garage time while I've got my GTR out, and I'm gonna install the blow-off valve to the car as well. But looking at the Perrin charge pipe, so on the OEM pipe, guys, if you look in here, there's a rubber gasket. So you're gonna have to remove this rubber gasket that's in here. We're gonna use a smooth, flat edge. We're gonna make sure we don't damage the seal. Pull this out, and that's our seal. Slide it right back in to the Perrin. Make sure you use your finger and really push it all the way in. I'm just going to put a little bit of silicone spray on there. This is designed where it's not going to eat away at that rubber seal. So I'm just going to put a little bit on the rubber seal to help it slip down into position. You guys can see that O-ring is nice and seated all the way down in there. Let's go ahead and slip our coupler over the top. These are 7mm if you want to use a socket, or you can just use a flathead, whatever is easier. And you guys can see you just want the coupler just right underneath that little bulge. That way, as it tightens down, it won't slip up over under boost. I'll show you what it looks like though. So it's going to look something like that. And as that seats onto the little ridge on the turbo, I'll throw some pictures up for you guys to see as that slips over the little turbo ridge. That's what keeps this from sliding off. But comparing the Perrin pipe to the plastic factory one, you guys can see how it really pinches down here till it's like really a bottleneck here in the middle. Versus how this is a tubular, same size all the way, and then steps up as it gets closer to the intercooler. But I think this is gonna definitely flow more air, and don't have to worry about it becoming brittle over time and breaking. And the powder coat on this looks nice. It's a nice wrinkled black. Reminds me of the powder coat similar to like what's on my RB26 valve covers. Now personally, if I'm being honest, I really don't like this system. I would have rather had a little bit longer intercooler charge pipe, and then done like a step down coupler where it's smaller here and then gets larger here. And I would have rather have the system completely slide over with a coupler over the turbo myself. I think that that would have been better, because we're going to completely remove this OEM style thing up top and go with the conventional silicone coupler with hose clamps. And I just think that that would have been a better design to just get rid of that altogether and pretty much eliminate any chance for a possible boost leak. All right, let's go ahead and slip this over the turbo. You're going to want to give it a good push. All right, we'll install it the same way. So once you get it in there, there we go, just kind of falls in. You're on, I'll go down in there with my cell phone and get you guys a close look. So you guys can see how that fastener just kind of goes down in there. Pretty simple, it's seated all the way onto the turbo. You guys look down in there, you can see. So I decided to slip the intercooler off for you guys just to take a peek at it. You can see how this has a similar style seal on the inside here, which I don't like either. I feel like an aftermarket intercooler would do this car justice if you're going to turn up the boost, because to me I just feel like as the boost goes up that little seal is going to have a high probability for boost leaks. And then we're going to go ahead and remove this piece here, and we'll slide the silicone coupler on here. So we'll take out these hose clamps, and I'd like to see Perrin, shout out to Perrin, if you guys could build some type of piece to replace this plastic piece. I'd like to have aluminum charge piping all the way into the intercooler. So you guys want to work a flathead kind of around here and just loosen this up a little bit, and then from there just kind of pull at an angle and just pop right off. And I also don't like this plastic on the bottom. You know, as things get hot and cold over a bunch of heat cycles, this stuff becomes brittle over time and has a much higher failure rate than solid aluminum. So this is what the engine bay looks like without the intercooler in, and you guys can see I've got my little Cobb stop pitch down there. If you guys haven't seen that video, I'll put a link in the tab as well as in the description down below. And our air filter still looks somewhat clean. Looks like it could be changed. I'm waiting for an intake. I'm not sure which system I'm gonna do. I'm leaning towards the Cobb carbon fiber. I'm waiting for them to come out with it. Shout out to Milwaukee. If you guys don't have any of the Milwaukee power hand tools, I'll put a link in the description down below. They are a game changer in the garage. Our silicone coupler here. I'm gonna have it facing forward so you can see Perrin when you look into the engine bay. So we need to put a hose clamp down below for the bottom coupler. There we go, charge pipe in. Last thing, we'll tighten our lower hose clamp. So I'm just putting a socket with a little adapter and kind of tightening this down by hand. Make sure when you guys tighten this that you leave yourself enough clearance. So if you need to remove the charge piping, you can access it from the side. And when you guys are tightening this down, make sure you check your clearances. So you don't want the charge pipe touching any of this stuff. Make sure it's got room to move. I kind of banged into it when I was adjusting it, so be careful that you don't do that. I put like a little scratch on it, but everything lines up good. Okay, I've already reconnected the plugs here. We can go ahead and put the fan screws back in. Make sure your fan drops all the way down into the seated position, and it should line pretty much right up. So you don't need too much on them, guys. Just enough. That was only like a 1/8 or 1/4 turn. You don't want to break these plastic pieces, so just be careful. So guys, the install's all done. If you're worried, oh, I've got this extra, bolt left, you missed something. That was what was right there holding this charge pipe down. So don't worry about it, you don't need it. But what do you guys think? This looks pretty awesome. I'm super excited about this. I feel a lot more confident in this over the plastic one. And let's start it up and see if we notice any difference in sound and the way that it drives. But yeah, fitment is good, doesn't touch anything. It's got plenty of room to move around and stuff under boost. This is actually the first time my WRX has ever been parked in my garage since I've owned it, because my GTR has been sitting in there because I've been rebuilding the engine. I can hear more of a like an intake sound from inside. GoPro sync. Okay, this is going to be our first pull with the charge pipe in. Here we go. Yeah, wow. She definitely pulls a little harder, guys. You can feel a surge, a little bit more surge of power when the boost comes on, and it feels like it pulls a little harder to redline. Let's take this road up here to the bridge. We'll get some cinematic shots. Well guys, that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you liked the video. If you did, hit the thumbs up button. Leave me a comment down below and subscribe if you like this type of content with the VB WRX. I will have a lot more content to come as more parts come out. But until the next video, I'll see you guys then. Take care.